Meet Marcus Wee, the gamer who built a $100 million tech empire from a stolen idea. This is the story of Aftershock PC, the custom gaming rig company that powers Team Flash, Singapore's top esports organization. We'll see how a struggling student turned his gaming obsession into a thriving business and why his journey proves that success doesn't always follow the traditional path. Marcus Wee wasn't your typical entrepreneur. Before founding Aftershock PC, he was just a kid obsessed with video games like Starcraft and Warcraft. To him, these weren't just games, they were worlds where he could strategize and win. The passion wasn't just about fun, it was building skills for something much bigger. Now, here's the catch, Marcus wasn't a great student. The school just wasn't his jam, and he skipped classes a lot. For most, that would have been a dead end, but for Marcus, gaming was his escape and his training ground. While others were hitting the books, Marcus was learning complex game strategies and how to build PCs. It was like he was leveling up in real life. The obsession with gaming led Marcus to a big discovery. He realized his love for customizing his gaming experience could actually be turned into a business, and that's when the idea of Aftershock PC started forming. He wasn't just playing games anymore, he was getting ready to build them, one custom PC at a time. While studying at university, Marcus went on an exchange program to Canada. There, between his studies and gaming, he came across something life-changing, a custom gaming laptop by Xotic PC. This wasn't your average laptop, it was a powerful, personalized machine built for serious gamers like Marcus. And that's when it hit him. There was nothing like this back in Singapore. Why should gamers in Singapore miss out? But here's the tricky part. Marcus knew bringing this idea back home wasn't as simple as copying it. There was an ethical question. Should he just replicate what he saw? And would this concept even work in Singapore, which had a smaller market and less buying power? Marcus wrestled with these doubts, worried about being labeled a copycat. In the end, he took a leap, but he didn't just copy, he innovated. Marcus realized customer services was key in Singapore, so he focused on customization and top-notch after-sales support. This would be the secret sauce that set his brand apart. And just like that, Aftershock PC was born, not as a copy of Xotic PC, but as a uniquely Singaporean brand that put customers first. So, Marcus had a dream built with nothing but passion, a tiny shop and some friends who were as into gaming as he was. Forget Silicon Valley, this was Singapore, and the budget, basically the coins you find on your couch. But hey, who needs sleep and money when you've got a vision, right? They weren't just building PCs, they were trying to put their mark on the tech world, one motherboard at a time. Marcus, of course, was the brains behind the business, but who steps in when you need things to look awesome? His twin brother, Joe, aka the Creative Ninja. Together, they formed a dynamic duo, one handling business and the other making sure their design screamed cooler than your average PC. Forget Batman and Robin, this was Marcus and Joe. But, and that's a big but, it wasn't all fun and games. Starting a business when you can barely afford your morning coffee is tough, and competing with the big guys? Oh boy. Marcus found himself pulling all-nighters, personally building PCs with his own two hands, making sure everything was perfect. Imagine working like a mad scientist, except instead of a lab coat, you're in a gaming chair. Every sale was like a boss battle, one wrong move and the game could be over. In a small market like Singapore, one bad review could spell game over. Then, something magical happened. Word started spreading, mostly through gaming forums, where nerds rule and news travels fast. Gamers were whispering, okay, maybe not whispering, more like typing in all caps, about these personalized high-performance PCs that were kicking some serious butt. Orders started trickling in, slowly at first, but soon it was like someone flipped the on switch. Aftershock was making waves, and it wasn't just about selling computers anymore. It was about building relationships, creating killer experiences, and making sure people kept coming back for more. Who knew? Turns out treating your customers like actual humans works. Before long, Aftershock wasn't just a small shop with a dream. No, this was the real deal now. Gamers all over Singapore were waking up to Aftershock as the place to get their custom-built PCs. And Marcus, well, he was just getting started. Why stop at Singapore when there are two other countries you can take over, right? Next stop, Malaysia and Australia, baby. One of the game changers was Ultra-Labs. This wasn't just your run-of-the-mill PC building. Nah, this was where dreams come true, or at least gamers dream. Ultra-Labs allowed Aftershock to go full Mad Max on the PC world, offering completely customized machines for hardcore gamers. Want your PC to look like it could launch a spaceship? Done. Prefer it to glow in the dark? No problem. Ultra-Labs was where Marcus's team went wild with ideas, making sure every PC was as unique as the gamers themselves. Of course, expanding wasn't without its challenges. Growing too fast, that can be risky. Marcus had to make sure every PC that left their hands was up to the same crazy high standards as the ones they were building back home. Plus, they weren't exactly competing with small fry anymore. They were now up against the big boys, companies like Razer and Alienware, who had, let's be honest, enough cash to buy small islands if they wanted to. But Marcus wasn't sweating. Why? Because he knew Aftershock had something those other brands didn't: personality. While the big companies were pumping out PCs like factories, Aftershock was offering the gaming equivalent of a tailor-made suit. Gamers weren't just getting a machine, they were getting a personal experience. It was like the difference between fast food and a gourmet burger. You're going to remember that burger. Expanding into Malaysia and Australia, yeah, it came with the usual headaches. New markets, new rules, and the constant question, can we keep this up? Spoiler alert, they totally did. Ultra-Labs became the jewel in Aftershock's crown. Gamers didn't just want any PC, they wanted a custom PC, and Aftershock was more than happy to deliver. They built a loyal fanbase by being a brand that cared about your setup almost as much as you did. And so, what started as a scrappy little company in a tiny Singapore shop grew into a custom PC powerhouse across 3 countries. Aftershock thrived by giving gamers what they wanted: the ultimate personalized gaming experience. Turns out, when you care about your customers and put in the hard work, you don't just survive, you dominate. Game on, Marcus, game on. As Aftershock PC grew, so did the challenges. You'd think running a booming business would feel like leveling up in a video game, but it was more like juggling flaming swords while riding a unicycle. Marcus and his team had to deal with the rapid growth, meaning they needed more staff, bigger teams, and a plan to keep up with the fast-moving tech world. But there was another tricky part: keeping the "we're all in this together" vibe that had powered their early days. After all, it started with a tight-knit group of friends who bonded over gaming. As the company expands, how do you keep that culture alive without feeling like a corporate machine? Inside the company, things got tough too. Some of Marcus's original squad found it hard to adapt to the bigger operations. Suddenly, it wasn't just a few friends throwing together awesome PCs, it was a full-blown business with all the growing pains. Marcus had to figure out how to keep the team motivated and make sure everyone still felt like they were an important part of the squad. Then came the boss-level challenge: COVID-19. Like every business, Aftershock took a hit. With strict lockdowns and social distancing, their legendary after-sales support, the bread and butter of their reputation, took a nosedive. Orders piled up like an unsorted inventory in a dungeon raid, and delays threatened to tarnish their hard-earned name. Customers weren't too happy, and the pressure was intense. It was either adapt fast or watch everything fall apart like a house of cards, or a poorly built PC. So, what did Marcus and his team do? They strapped on their metaphorical armor and went to battle. They expanded their service facilities, doubled their operations to meet the demand, and invested heavily in logistics and customer service. Think of it like respawning after a tough round. They came back stronger. The pandemic wasn't going to be their endgame. Instead, it forced Aftershock to evolve and innovate. In the end, they not only survived, but thrived, with an even more loyal customer base. Lesson learned: agility, resilience, and a good dose of creativity are the ultimate power-ups when things get tough. Now that Aftershock has established itself as a major player, does Marcus sit back and relax? Nah, he's the type who finishes one game and immediately boots up the next. He's all about the future, and for him, the future looks like pushing the boundaries of what's possible. In his eyes, Aftershock isn't just a custom PC builder, it's a tech pioneer. We're talking about next-level PC customization, futuristic tech projects, and expanding into even more countries. Plus, he's got some seriously cool ideas cooking in the Ultra-Labs division. If that's not enough, he's eyeing collaborations with tech giants. Imagine Aftershock PCs loaded with cutting-edge tech you didn't even know existed. Yeah, that's the kind of ambition Marcus is packing. By 2023, Aftershock hit $100 million in annual revenue. That's right, 9 figures. But with big numbers come big risks. The tech world moves at light speed, and what's hot today can be old news tomorrow. Just ask anyone who still uses a floppy disk. Marcus knows this better than anyone, And staying ahead of the competition isn't easy. Expanding into new markets means dealing with different regulations, more competitors, and new customer expectations. It's like unlocking a new level. Exciting, but also full of new challenges. Can Aftershock keep up its reputation for quality and customization while scaling up? And how do you keep your loyal fans happy while bringing in fresh faces? Despite the unknowns, Marcus isn't sweating it. His confidence comes from a track record of turning challenges into opportunities. The secret sauce? Aftershock's core values are customization, killer customer service, and never being afraid to innovate. As long as they stick to what they do best, Marcus believes the future is theirs to own. He's not just planning to keep up with the competition, he's planning to lead it. And with his love for gaming and tech steering the ship, you can bet the best is yet to come. Aftershock isn't just here to play, they're here to dominate the game. So, here's the big takeaway from Marcus Wee's journey. From a gamer obsessed with Starcraft to the founder of a multi-million-dollar tech company. What started as a simple idea during a university trip became Aftershock PC, a brand built on quality, customization, and customer care. Despite the hurdles, scaling the business and navigating a global pandemic, Marcus and his team emerged stronger each time. His story shows that success isn't just about school grades, it's about passion, innovation, and seizing opportunities. Marcus proves that even if you struggle in school, you can still build something amazing if you've got the drive. Share with us in the comment section how Marcus Wee's story inspired you, and hit that subscribe button. We've got a wealth of entrepreneurial journeys coming your way, showcasing innovators who are reshaping industries and defying expectations. Don't miss out on these valuable lessons and insights. And so, what can we learn from Marcus's story? Sometimes the biggest wins come from the boldest moves. From a borrowed idea to a thriving empire, Marcus Wee's story proves that with a bit of grit and a lot of passion, you can turn dreams into reality.